I went to Costa Rica for 40 days, and I gained a lot of insights that I want to share with you regarding traveling, regarding the purpose of traveling, and regarding you thinking that other things other than this moment are going to be the answer. I want to tell you straight up, I went to Costa Rica. It was fun. I learned a lot, but I didn't learn anything in which I intended to learn. I didn't think it was going to be the dynamic that it was. I was so dead set on this being the answer, me going there, having this life dynamic, but realizing that the actual answer is just doing and learning and adapting and being present as you go. Because I remember being there and then overthinking and then resisting and then inevitably learning lessons and moving forward, but not in the way that I thought. So the reason I'm saying this is no matter where you go or what you do or what you think the answer is, that's never the actual answer. The answer is doing this moment with full nobility, grace, and presence. And surely taking risk. So you need to take the risk to learn these things. So I'm not saying don't go travel. I want you to be able to travel. I want you to be able to make money whilst being able to move around. And I want you to create the business that you want and create the life dynamic that you want. But I just want to remind you that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And you'll often find that the actions that you thought were going to be the answers aren't actually the answers. Why is that though? Because when you're putting it on a pedestal, you're putting this thing on a pedestal, you're viewing it from a certain light, and things, places, people do not live up to the creation or the man-made mental creation of that thing, place, or person in our mind. It will never live up to that if you're always valuing something outside yourself. So I went to Costa Rica and I thought that my business was going to thrive. This is exactly what I needed to grow my business. I wanted to be around like-minded individuals. And I just went there and I didn't know anything. I got a random Airbnb and it ended up being a great trip. But the hindrances that I found were, well, I wasn't in a location that I enjoyed particularly because I didn't know. But in reflection, this was a perfect trip for me to learn all this stuff. So that's what I'm saying, is take the risk and be willing to learn what God, life, the universe intends you to learn in that moment, not being so controlling. Like I remember I went on another trip to Miami and I got there and I thought it was so different than what I thought it was going to be. Then I was resisting it and overthinking, and it's like, that is the actual problem of me putting these expectations and things, people, places, not living up to them. Instead, having no expectations and just doing, taking risk with love. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And so I got there and yeah, I had just a very odd living situation. I didn't have any AC, which was tough for me because I was coming from the dead of winter somewhere, and was in, like, I was doing it the cheapest way possible. And I just got a room in somebody's apartment. So I had to live with this older guy as well. Again, nice guy, respect, but it wasn't the dynamic that I intended or wanted. So I go there, don't have any AC, don't really know how to meet people or like what I'm doing, don't have any transportation. So I got to like walk a mile to like even get anywhere near places. And it was wicked hot, which because I didn't have the AC was fucking tough. And then the whole like getting enough water, I was like dehydrated the whole time. And I'm not complaining. These are valuable lessons. Like I want to go back there very soon, but I'll do it completely different. And I'll tell you how I'll do it. So I got there, just wasn't the best housing dynamic. I was living with a guy, cool guy, but just like, you know, I'm very particular with my energy and like who I'm around and what I'm around, and just thinking something's going to be the answer isn't. You have to manipulate your circumstances. So in hindsight, I would either specifically go somewhere that I know it will be around the right people, whether doing a retreat, whether doing a camp of some sort, or a mastermind, or just going and getting my own apartment, like spending the extra money. You have to spend extra money to create the circumstances that you want to thrive. And it will actually reap more rewards. So spending more on getting your own place. I didn't have any transportation, so I would have rented like a car for the month, but it was 40 days, so it was hard, so I didn't want to rent a car. But even just preparing to rent transportation or renting a four-wheeler, because you could do that around there, I'm having transportation, which I didn't have. And then along with having my own place, like making sure that just the working environment was so hard, because I was building an online business, and to work like in a decent location with AC, I had to like get an Airbnb or get an Uber or walk to like a cafe. Just like created so much resistance for working. And so making sure the work environment's good, the AC's good. And then like even just like cooking my own food, it was a very odd kitchen situation and just like a shitty fridge. And I would have, at this point, next time I go, I'm going to like bring my own reverse osmosis water filter, so I can just always have cold water on tap and just have like a glass jug to put in the fridge. So I'm always having water, because I literally couldn't buy enough water to sustain like the amount of hydration that I needed. And so those are just some other few things. And yeah, what I'm getting at though is I'm trying to be personable and share the exact nitty gritty of why and what I do different. But what I realized though is like you have the perfect circumstances where you are. Like I'm back home now and dialing back in on the similar dynamic, and it's like nothing outside of this moment is going to be the savior. If you do this moment the best and in a state of nobility, you will move forward and you will create your own luck and take the risk and learn these things. So I'm saying go travel. I'm saying fail, start a business and fail in regards to learning. Like I created a whole business back in 2021, spent thousands of dollars, completely failed. Even my whole mindset regarding business up until this point was such a skewed mindset, and one that didn't serve me in the long run, but I needed to go through that to learn these things. So I'll definitely go back and continue to travel, but what I'm telling you is getting to a point where you can spend extra to create the circumstances that you want is what I'm getting at. Unless you're going into it like roughing it. And that's the other thing too, is not having expectations. Like if I would have known just like going in and like not even roughing it, but like going in and just like taking it with the wind, and I was more in that mindset, I wouldn't have been as resistant. But I was like trying to do some other stuff, and then I had to like shift my perspective. So once I was there and really accepted it, and then I had so much fun. I met so much cool people. I took the opportunities, and I went out of my comfort zone. And it ended up being an amazing trip, and I met a bunch of amazing people. So the reason I'm saying this and what I'm telling you is don't be so dead set on what you think the answer is, and don't be so rigid in your point of view and what you think you know and how you're going to create it, because it's going to create itself and unfold if you're acting in love. So I went there having this expectation, business growth, and I was going to have this perfect dynamic, this and that. And I was like, wait a minute, I didn't take any actions to really align with that. That's number one. And then so I more treated it like a vacation when I was there. And then like I wasn't optimized at all in my diet or my business or my working schedule. And that's the thing, to optimize those things for the next time or the next thing I do. It's like you have to make sure and be more meticulous in your surroundings, making sure you have your own surroundings, making sure you have a work environment that's conducive to you working efficiently for a focused long period of time, making sure you have your diet and food on point. So I treated it more like a vacation, and that's what I recognized was, wait a minute, this is what it was supposed to be there for, is enjoy, meet new people, and learn what it's like to travel alone and learn the goods and the bads about it. And then, yeah, so it's not that big of a deal, guys. Just take action and take the risk And that's the whole point, is how do we get to a point to take risk? Well, what's hindering us right now? What is most of our time taken up by? Is it our job? Is it this? Is it that? And why do we need this dynamic? And why do we need this job? And how can we unpack strategically letting go of these things that are holding chains on us and getting to a place to take massive risk, to invest in this baby we call our business, our real estate, our self? Because there's no use in, and there is a use of having a girlfriend, doing all these things, traveling, this and that. But you're going to replay the same cycles in that you're going to have to learn the lessons at some point in regards to, you might get a girlfriend and then realize like she wasn't conducive to the end goal vision. So like for me, there's no point in bringing somebody into my life until I'm fully aligned with where I am and who I want to be. And so in being in a place where I can fully be present and put the energy that I want toward that relationship. And I'm just not quite in that place. And so it's like, you know, I don't feel bad about that. I've had fun, and fun is fun, but fun isn't long-term sustainable and real. You get what I'm saying? Anyways, fam, hope that resonated with you in some way. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, liking the video, comment, let me know your thoughts. Anyways, we're going to continue to share the wisdom, share the vibes, and create freedom in our lives. Thank you. Peace.